Today I have the Phillips Elegant Twinkling Effect Snowflakes. Phillips 90 cool white lights, if you can see. $24.99 at Target. Safety 90 cool white, suction cups included. Has a combination of steady illuminating and twinkling lights, as you can see how the twinkling effect. I just took these out of the box, so they're not exactly perfect. They kind of snap in. When I open the box, they're disassembled. They're attached, but they're kind of unfolds together. This is the way it comes. You have your, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces, and they're all attached at the bottom. And of course, you have your cable, and it comes with these little pieces to hold it together. There we go. Just to hold them together. Little plastic. And the way they work is they kind of unfold. You know, they're all separate. And you just kind of start with one piece. And another thing I was wanting to show is how they kind of attach together. If you can see, if I'm holding you in the right area, this little slider piece is what slides up to lock, slides to lock the two tabs together, as you can kind of see. And there's also a little pin right here that attaches. There's a hole in here that slides in, and you just kind of origami it in there to put it in the hole. A little easier said. It's a little easier to do when it's laying on the ground than trying to hold it here. I'm going to put this little clip back on, but it's not too complicated to put together. You just have to slide the little pin in the hole, and you snap it, slide it together, and the same piece up here, it does the same thing. You kind of have to finagle this a little bit, get the hole in like that. It kind of snaps in, and then you slide this piece up, which is kind of hard to do, and that will lock that piece in. And then the same way down here on this piece, it kind of hooks together. I think I'm doing this backwards. I probably have to start on the plug-in and work my way backwards, but that's kind of how they slide together. You line up the little pin in the little hole, and it just kind of pushes in, kind of like that. If you can kind of see, the little pin is in the hole, it's closed together, and you slide there, which they're really hard. Now you've got two pieces attached, and you just go around the next one. You kind of like clockwise or counterclockwise and do the same. Well, actually, that's the last piece. So I actually did start backwards. You need to start at the plug, start at this one, unfold it, hook them together, pin it, go next one, next, because this piece goes around to the first section. So always start at the plug end. Let me undo. These are really, really tight in there. It'll hurt your fingernails, so you know. very tight to get in there. So I'll just take this off and put them back together just like they are. And basically you turn it over. You have the plug end going into this first piece. And then that's the way you're supposed to do it. You start with this first piece where the plug is, hook it together, and then you get your next one and hook it together. Actually, they're backwards, but you'll see how after you put the first one, how the ends meet. And then you get the next piece, and you'll have to flip the next piece over just to get the next one in there. So they're pretty neat. Little hard to get these to slide up on both top and bottom. They're fairly rough to get in there. They kind of slide, but they're very tight tolerance in there. I might have to sand a little bit, but as you can see, that's how they come together. Your plug, regular AC plug. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. I'm sorry, I said 7 earlier. But this is what they look like. So I did some testing, and I don't have my controller set up yet. I've been testing with it. I replaced the tracks in it. But as you can see, very pretty. It is actually from this one end, from the longest ends, from this end here to the other end is about 42 inches wide. So basically this is a 42-inch snowflake. And as you can see, I have my connections slid up to where they've locked together. And this is a lot easier to do on the ground, not standing up and holding it. So as you can see, there is no controller or anything to this. It's just a plug in. I'm sure these bulbs that are blinking, I'm not sure if there's some sort of, like the old flasher bulbs they used to have on the incandescent light strings. But I'm just going to kind of unpower it and then plug it back in and just kind of see, if you do like a flash, how it does. And see the twinkle is almost instant when they come on. All I'm doing is just touching the contacts in this plug. So it comes on and then you can see the twinkle. It doesn't do all the twinkle very fast. They all kind of come on for a second. So that's kind of what they look like if you're like flashing the lights. And I'm sorry it's not dark in here to see this. It's cold outside, but it's... And as you can see, there is, when you first turn it on, all the LEDs will come on for a second. And then when I leave it on, they go off. The flasher lights will go off. And then they do their thing. So as you can see, they look really good. I really like this. I did a fade, a couple of 10-second fades on the this one the other day, and there was no flickering. It faded up really well. The flashing starts when it was probably about, probably about halfway through the 10 seconds, probably about the 5, maybe 6 seconds. They actually started the twinkle in the lightorama off the controller. So 10-second fade works good. There was no flickering whatsoever. The like this LED here that's off, I think they started kind of, like I said, about 5 seconds in to the fade. When they started getting a little bit brighter, the LED started flashing. So other than that, that's a little review of the, let's see, Phillips twinkling effect. elegant twinkling effect. Hanging snowflake, cool white, 90 LED lights, and it even has the height 42 inches. 3-year guarantee, which I'm sure the plastic won't last 3 years. It does come unassembled, and it does have your suction cups. Looks like more clips, zip ties. Let me just open this so you can kind of see, because I'm kind of rambling on here a little bit longer than needs to be for these. Comes with instructions. It's actually got pictures. Looks like a caution. You can kind of see that. Caution, unlock and remove the burned out lamp, replace with the spare lamp. So it does have some spare bulbs there for that. This is probably the assembly, maybe the parts. Yes, this is what's included. Snowflake branches, center, filling cap. So there is actually a cap that goes in here, which, like I said, I haven't looked at. There is two suction cups, 2 extra plugs, plastic clips, 4 bulbs, 2 spare fuses, safety sheet, and a quick start guide. So that's what this is. There's the how the instructions say, if you can kind of see that. Hopefully it's not blurry. There's where the center cap goes in the center, how the you piece the together and you slide the clip up, and you just lay it on the ground. One bulb is not functioning. Replace bulb with one of the spare bulbs provided. So there's kind of that. Lights are out. Make sure there's power on the plug. Call customer service. The usual. But at least it has some sort of picture. In here you get some zip ties, some small. And the zip ties, if you can see right here, see, there's holes right here, and you would zip tie. I'm sure you would either zip tie these holes, or you could actually zip tie around the little connection up here. Run the zip tie through and zip tie it up in the back. So that way you could hold, you run your zip tie in here, and then that way it would hold those pieces together and keep them from falling out. So let's see, there's more. This one has your bulbs and fuses. 4 bulbs, 4 fuses. Get these out of my way. I am probably not going to use these zip ties because it's pretty sturdy as is right now. Here is the center cap. So it actually has, if you can see, it actually has little channels in it that will go in between each one of these sections. And then you have a little cap that you, get this out of the way here, because the other bag has just got some extra clips. Looks like a little hanger clip on the suction cup. I'm not going to be using these suction cups because they won't stick to the siding. I'm going to actually be using this string, which is about 60-pound string, and it works really well. Plus my house is white, so you have to squeeze these little tabs in at the same time to get this cap off, like so. Kind of tricky with all of them, like that. So there's your lock and there's your cap. It's got the holes in it. If you can, hopefully you can see all that. I'm trying to. So there's the holes. There's the cap, and the cap will just fit in the slots and the slots of each one of these. Let me zoom in on that for you so you can kind of see what I'm doing. There we go. So the slots goes in between like that, and that will hold these sections together. You slide the thing, and then you take your little cap, and then you put it on the back side and you snap it in, and then that way it'll keep all the pieces together. So like I said, I'm not ready for this yet because I've still got to figure out a way to hang them, but that's the little cage cap that holds this center section together, keeps them from coming loose. That way if the clips come loose and you have your zip ties, then your zip ties right here holding this, and then you have your cap in here. Well, these clips are just kind of holding it together. So that's it. Phillips 42-inch twinkling snowflake. I like it. I have 8 that I'm going to be using in my show this year. Yeah, I'm going to be hanging them with this little string here, just to because the suction cups won't stick to vinyl siding. And there's a little close up of the center section there, how it works, how it looks together, and then you can kind of see, like there's one clip right here. You slide that down and slide this other one down, and that, like I said, that's fairly hard on your fingertips to get those little clips to slide up to lock the piece, and then you slide them back to unlock it. They are very, very hard on the fingertips, so if you're going to do these, do them when it's warm, not outside in the cold when your hands are cold. And it's best assembled on the ground, and it's kind of got a little wave to it right here in the middle where the clips are kind of like, it's not perfectly straight, flat across here. It's kind of bowing right here in the middle because the tension of these clips are kind of bowing it, making it bow out just a little bit. But other than that, once they're hung up, I have looked at this at nighttime. You just have to push some of these bulbs in once you get it assembled, and you just kind of slide in these little channels. Once you get it in there, it looks really good. From a distance, it looks really good. I don't like the twinkling effect. I'd rather it just be fully on, all of them. But like I said, I haven't looked at these bulbs to see if they're any different than the regular bulbs, if they stop, if you replace the bulb and it won't twinkle, or if it's just the way it's wired, because I don't see any control box for any of these separate lights. And so I'm assuming it's the bulb has got something in the bulb itself that makes the twinkle effect. But hopefully that helps somebody if they're looking for some snowflakes. They're at Target. They're $24.99. I don't know how much they were with tax, but $25 for a 42-inch snowflake. They look great when it's dark out. I don't have any pictures of that. I just was testing it the other day. But anyway, hopefully that helps anybody who is thinking about buying one of these. The Phillips hanging snowflake, cool white indoor outdoor twinkling effect, 42-inch snowflake. So there you go.